Welcome to Coffee Talk with Liquidshano 1973. And now your host, me, Shane Lakita.
Hey guys, good morning. Here we are again. Just a period of time since my last podcast that I had where I shared with you guys that I was heading out to Tennessee off to the wild blue yonders to be able to get up into the Smoky Mountains and do some team building stuff and some bonding and some reflection and other things like that. So I just wanted to share a lot of that with you on today's podcast because I think it's going to be really something as a good exercise to do, but also something to reflect on. So we'll get into that in just a little bit. But first of all, I'm hoping that your Easter was great. I'm hoping that you got a chance to spend time with those that you love or reflect on those that you lost or just have some really, really good moments, whether you went to church on Easter, whether you just had dinner on Easter, whether you went egg hunting or whatever else that you did. I'm hoping that it was spent with those people that mean a lot to you, that was able to invest in you, and you were able to invest in yourself to be able to just have that time that we sometimes need just to be able to reflect on things and be able to right-size our brain a little bit. I mean, I know we're in this journey together, but there comes a time sometimes that it seems so monotonous, and it's so great to be able to have a little bit of an outlet. So if you had the day off and you were able to spend some time with your family, I'm hoping that you did it in a really, really good fashion. You enjoyed everything about it. You guys had a great time. And as we are heading back into the regular work week this week, I'm really hoping that you are able to turn the page, right? So if you were in a place during Easter where you were eating Cadbury cream eggs or you were eating jelly beans or chocolate eggs or Reese's Cups or whatever else, and you're able to check that at the door, know that you did it on Easter, you were able to walk on, whether you had a big ham dinner and you had all that sodium in the ham, or you had potatoes or sweet potatoes or whatever else you had that was jam-packed with marshmallows or glazed carrots and whatever else. Now is your opportunity to be able to turn that page and be able to keep pushing forward and be able to just right-size it. Take a look at it, close that chapter, and keep moving forward as we are continually driving and focusing and continually trying to be the best version of ourselves. So I'm really hoping that you were able to enjoy yourself, though. I mean, even if you did eat something that you might not have really wanted to eat or anything like that, I'm hoping that you were able to just check it at the door, know that it was a moment in time, and now you're back at it and you're ready to go and you're grinding and you're doing all the things that are necessary for you to do. And I know for me on Easter, I actually went out for a walk and got about 10,000 steps in. I did about almost 5 miles, just about 5 miles worth of walk-run combo action going on. And when I was out and about, I posted a little video on No Finish Line Nation and on Instagram that basically just kind of walked it through to be able to say, even though it's Easter and even though I've got food all in front of me and even though I've got different things that are going on, if you went to whatever function that you were going to, it was more of an accountability piece for me to say, I still got to get my walks in, I still got to drink my water, I still got to live my life today, because it's a normal day. It's not just because it's Easter. And I know a lot of people have a lot of religious content that goes into Easter, and there's a lot of meaning behind Easter. But at the same token, Easter is just another day. It's not a day that we can just like take a look at ourselves and just be able to go down this windy road and do whatever we have to do. It's just another day. It's a Sunday. So basically, you still got to get your steps in, or if you want to, you still got to go to the gym if you want to, or you still got to get some exercise and eat right and do those kind of things like you're doing every other day when you're grinding. You can't just take the day off and say, oh, you know what? It's a holiday. I'm just going to do what I have to do. And if you did do that, if you did just take that day off, then it's okay too. So just, you know what? Just move on. That's all you got to do. So I'm really hoping that Easter was great for you. I'm hoping that you were able to reinvest in your batteries, get recharged for your work week, get recharged for your workout week, and just really push forward and look to make really, really great things happen moving forward, okay? I'm going to go ahead and get into this podcast here. Like I said, it's going to be a reflection point around what I did when I was down in Tennessee, and I think it'll be a great one for you guys to get into and do for yourself as well, because I think that a lot of it is about reflection and us to have the ability to be able to really take inventory of where we're at in our journeys for us to be able to move forward, okay? So let's go ahead and get this thing started. right, here we are. New podcast, new day, new energy, new excitement, new everything, new accountability. Here we go. Okay. All right, so here's where I was at, right? So as many of you guys might know already, and I know I've talked about it on the podcast and through other social media platforms, I went down to Tennessee this last week to meet a couple new members of our team, along with the other maybe 10 other folks that are on the team itself that all pretty much do very similar roles. We're all business consultants towards business owners, and we got together to just get to know each other a little bit more. And what I loved about this meeting was a lot of times we do meetings that are pretty stuffy, right? We do meetings that are based on performance goals, sales goals, quotas, targets, all that stuff. And we talk about how do we elevate performance and how do we continue to push forward in the business sector and where are we at with everything. And that's all great. That's all fine and dandy. I mean, like, listen, it's my job, so it's something that I have to do, which I totally understand and I get. But I'll tell you, this time was a little bit different. It was a little bit different. So as many of you know on the podcast, I'm very much into the brain work stuff. The stuff that you have to sit down and really talk about who I am, what I'm doing, what makes me tick, what kind of things am I looking for? Am I looking for something that is more heartfelt? Am I looking for something that's just surface level? Like, what are my goals? What are my heartfelt goals? Not just the goals of losing some pounds or gaining some muscle, but more about the heartfelt goals, the stuff that you want to accomplish in life, the life goals that you want to be able to try to accomplish, and then incorporating all of that together. So as many of you know, that's what I'm all about. You know, even when I struggle, as many of you know that too, even when I go up in weight, I still continue to focus on how much of a better person that I am, or what kind of volunteering that I do, or what kind of things that I want to be able to accomplish in life itself is really, really, really super important stuff to me. And so this meeting that we did, we went down to Tennessee, we flew into Knoxville, and then we drove about an hour out to go to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, where we sat down at a hotel and we had, first night was like dinner. We sat down and just had some couple drinks and just got to know everybody on that level and ate some food. And then the next day is when all the body of work began, right? This is where the brain work started to begin to go. So we had to do a little bit of prep work, and I'll explain the prep work to you because I think it's something good that you might be able to do for yourself if you really wanted to take a look at where you're at and where you're at in this journey. So there was a couple boxes that we had to fill out, and it was more about our teammates getting to know us, okay? So one of the questions was specifically, if I was to describe myself in 1, 2, or 3 different words, what would be some of those descriptors? Okay, so here, let's walk you. I'm going to walk you right through it. So if you're going to do it at home, you guys need to grab a piece of paper. You know, put in your top quadrant on the top left-hand side, words that describe me best. Now, these are descriptive words. These are words that you think that other people might think of you or what you think of you. Whatever it is, these are words that you think best describe you. So if you're a compassionate person, great, there's a great word. If you're a volunteer, right? So you're philanthropic and you want to give back to others, you want to make differences in people's lives or whatever it is. I'm just giving you some tips and pointers, right? Some things to think of to really dig into who am I as a person? What descriptors can best describe me that if I was to walk over to a group of people and be able to sit down and have them sit with me, within 20 minutes, they would know that these descriptors are a perfect example of who I am. If you're outgoing, if you're a honest person and you're bubbly personality, or you've got such a giving personality, or maybe you're a curmudgeon. Maybe you're not that nice. Maybe you're just like, you know what? I like to be able to just stick to what I know, and that's the way it is, and that's the way it goes. That's okay. Listen, this isn't just about the, Pollyanna positive Patty stuff. This is the best way to describe yourself. And maybe you're not in a really good place right now in your life, and you're not a good place in your health journey or whatever it is. And you've got words like overweight, or you got things like I'm fat, or I don't feel that good about myself, or I'm not as giving as I need to be, or those kind of things. It's okay. This whole exercise is all about taking inventory. This is all about listing out the options and the things that you do that you love about yourself, that you might hate about yourself, and the way that you want to be able to move forward to continue this journey and do the things that are necessary for us to do. Okay? So the first box is all about words that best describe me. Now, the second thing that's in there that over to the right-hand side would be something, so I'm going to kind of take it and depict it or bring it back to where we're at with our journey, okay? So the first thing is, who am I? What words best describe me? The second thing is, what do I bring to the team? So, doesn't have to be a team aspect of it, but it can be something to the effect of, what do I bring to life in general? What do I bring to my family? What do I bring to my friends? What do I bring to meetings that I go to? Or what do I bring to my work related stuff, or any of those things? What qualities do I possess that I bring to the table that others need to know about me? So like words that I use was, I'm an open communicator. I bring a level of accountability. I bring retail experience. I bring a winning attitude. I bring honesty to the table. So these are some examples of some of the things that I bring to the table for people to know that about me, right? So again, the exercise here is about taking inventory of who you are. One of the hardest things that we do for ourselves is to look at ourselves, reflect at ourselves, and really park in the space of knowing that we're pretty amazing at what we do. We just need to believe in that. So to quantify that, to put that down on paper, to make it on paper and on purpose, for you to be able to say, who am I as a person? And then also what I bring to society, what I bring to my family, are two really deep-seated stuff, right? This is some deep stuff, because if you're really reflecting the way that you should, there should be a lot more than just one or two little items on there. There should be a lot of items. So take the time necessary for you to be able to fill those two blanks out and be able to do that. Okay, here's another piece. Now, this is another one that's going to get a little touchy-feely. We called this the cry box whenever we were in there, because there was a lot of emotions going around when we were at this meeting. But here's another piece to it. Right below that, I want you to think two important people in my life. Now, this could be anybody. This could be a family member. This could be a mentor. This could be somebody that you look up to, somebody that you've always looked up to. Maybe it's a friend. Maybe it's somebody that has inspired you to be the best version of you. And write those two people down. Jot them down. And then what I want you to do is I want you to take a look at those people, and I want you to think about those things, and I want you to write down why they are on your list of individuals that are the two most important people in your life. So when you do that, really think about the importance of what they are in your life. Not just surface level stuff, not just like my best friend because she's cool, or not just my buddy because we play basketball together or we play cards and he gets me. Now that's cool, but I mean the real nitty gritty stuff, the people that have inspired you, the people that are important in your life. Or, like I said, somebody that you look up to and those kind of things. Now, the fourth box, now here's box number 4, and I'm hoping you're writing this stuff down. A good thing about podcast is you can rewind it and keep it going, but the fourth box is my key values in life. What are my key values? What are the things that make me tick? What are my values? What are the things that if people were to look at me and say, Shane's a really good person in life because I know these reasons are why. And again, I layered in some items like honesty because he's just honest. I don't deceive people. I'm an open book, and I build trust fast and more effectively when I can do that. Or philanthropy, where I give back to others through volunteering, monetary investments, and time. And this is super important to me, and I involve them all with my son. As many of you know on the social media platforms that I'm a part of, I involve him on everything that I try to do to give back to others. And then integrity. I live life to the fullest with strong moral principles. Those are some of my key values. So write these things down. You may know what they are. If you're religious and you're faith-based, great. Write that down. Write down why. Write down what the reason that you have those values instilled in you, and really start to dig in on who you are as a person. Now, here's the fifth box. This is a tough one. Okay, I'm forewarning you now. This is a really difficult one. The fifth box is what I like most about myself. Okay. 9 times out of 10, we, again, are our own worst critics. 9 times out of 10, we're going to pick apart our flaws. We're going to pick apart our overweight. We're going to pick apart our hair. We're going to pick apart our makeup. We're going to pick apart everything. We pick it all apart, and then we become our own worst critics, where we start to bash ourselves rather than talk about what we like most about ourselves. So in this fifth box, I want you to think about what I like most about myself. Don't be bashful or shy. List it out. If there's 10 things, great. If there's one thing, try to dig a little more. Some of the things that I put on there: outgoing personality, I love that about myself. Super caring about other people, I love that about myself. I love being a father, and I love being a dedicated and faithful husband. Those are some of the things that I love about myself. So you need to write these things down. Write down in the fifth box what I like most about myself. Next box, this is box number 6. 2 significant events in my life that have happened. Just 2 of them. Think about it. All the way from your firstborn, all the way until where you're at right now. 2 significant events in my life are these. And this is something to be able to write down and take note of. Whether it's the birth of a child, or whether it's the death of a family member, or whether it's a trip to Jerusalem, whether it's your Navy times or your military times, whatever it is, 2 significant events in my life are the following, and write those down. And here's the 7th. This is the big one for me. I'm going to combine the 2 together because they were more business related before. But I want you to write down in the 7th box, my dreams, my aspirations, and my goals for the future are the following. So what are your hopes, directions, visions, etc.? Think about it. What are your dreams? What are your aspirations and goals for the future? So if it's to lose weight, that's great. Well, how much weight do you want to lose? And how do you plan on going to get there? Or if it's to take a vacation with the family, okay, great. You want to go to Ireland and England, okay. When do you want to go by? When specifically do you want to be able to try to work towards that and quantify that and make that a SMART goal and put a timestamp on that thing to be able to make it something that is relevant to you and your journey as you're living life and you're doing everything that you have to do? Now, that's the 7th box. The combination part of it was going to be around things that I'm trying to work on right now. And this is something we were going to do with business-wise, but you can also do it as you are in your journey and where we're at right now. One of the people that really inspires me a lot of times whenever I'm looking at her posts on No Finish Line Nation, which is a closed Facebook group that I'm a part of, I'm an admin of, over on Facebook. And if you haven't been there, go to www.facebook.com/groups/No Finish Line Nation, and you'll be able to punch it right in there to be able to see exactly all these tons of people that are inspirational, that are out doing runs, walks, and eating and showing some of their meals and showing their struggles and their strengths and their victories and their celebrations and everything. So you should pop over if you haven't been there. But one of the people that I'm really inspired by a lot of times whenever she gets on there to post a video through her struggles and her strengths is Mary Straub. If you haven't seen her yet, and if you are a part of No Finish Line Nation, you should check her out because she does a lot of what I'm talking about right here. This is the 7 different steps of drilling down who you are as a person versus always trying to just be who you might not be. Know where you sit right now. Know who you are, know how you feel about yourself. These are steps that people take, and it takes a lot of work to get there, and a lot of energy, and a lot of passion, and a lot of accountability, and a lot of uncomfortable conversations where you're looking at yourself in the mirror, basically, and saying to yourself, what do I like about myself, and what do I need to work on about myself? Because at the end of the day, I know right now you could probably fill a whole entire page about the things you want to fix about you. But the difficulty is filling up this page with things that you're proud of, things that you love about yourself, things that you want others to know about you that they may not know. And this is a great exercise. And once you do this, maybe put a little color to it, maybe organize it in some nice, neat little boxes or whatever else, and put that on the fridge. And if it's just for you to see, that's great. If you got family in the house that they can see some of the intricate details of who mom or dad are, or uncle or aunt are, or whatever it is, how amazing would that be that people can then see, oh, I didn't know you felt that way about yourself. That's cool. I didn't know that about you. Or this is something you wanted to accomplish. Well, let's help you get there. Or all the little finite details of the things that we're talking about here are some really important aspects of our journey to take inventory for us to know exactly where we stand at all times. So I'm going to review it again. And I know, like we said, we got rewind button on a podcast, but here's how I'm going to review it. The first box is who am I? Keywords, phrases, labels, pictures, roles, traits, characteristics, or whatever that best describe you as a person. Okay? What characteristics do I bring to society or my family or whatever it is? 2 important people in my life. That's box number 3. Making sure you list out who they are and why they're important to you in your life. My key values in life are the following. That's box number 4. What I like most about myself is box number 5. Box number 6 is 2 significant events in my life are the following. And then lastly, my dreams, aspirations, goals for the future are the following. Now, the reason I talked about this on this podcast isn't just because I went to a meeting and I wanted to plagiarize and be able to bring this back to the table for all of you to be able to sit down and take a look at. The reason that I'm sharing this with you is because it is super important to do in our lives. We did it more business oriented. Although all of us talked about really personal stuff and dug into especially the people that mean something in our lives, because some have lost relatives, some have lost parents, moms, dads, or just been such inspirational aspects of their journeys, or kids and those kind of things. So it was really an emotional journey that we took. But why can't you take that journey and take the time for you to invest in yourself? Invest in your journey. See where you're at. See where you really truly stand and how you really feel about yourself. Because surface level, we can say, I hate myself right now. Or, it's not really, or whatever. But if you start to then take inventory of how you really feel about yourself, now you might know what the root cause of some of your problems might be. Now you might know that if you're not feeling that great about yourself and you feel down in the dumps and you feel like you're a failure or you're a loss or something's not right or you're just down in the dirt and not feeling like you could be successful with anything, that's what you got to work on. So as you're doing this little inventory project here and you're filling in the boxes, all 7 of those boxes, and once you get done with it, you can take a look at it and you can even put a highlighter to the things that you know you need to work on and things that you know you need to focus on. Because that's super important in our journeys. Self-work is something that a lot of people just don't do. I know I struggle with that. There's a lot of times I don't take the time to do self-motivation to be able to say, here's where I'm at. Now, this podcast has really helped me out with that. And it's helped me to be able to put some thoughts on the table, to put some ideas and accountabilities out there for people to hear from me say to them. But on the same token, there's not a lot of time that I've taken, like I took with this project that we did as a team, that I sat down and said, these are the things that I like about myself. Because we're always our own worst critic. And we also don't want to come across like a pompous ass, right? I mean, we don't want to come across as somebody that's arrogant or pompous or somebody that's so full of themselves. But don't worry about that when you're doing this project. I want you to be proud of who you are. Be proud of what you've accomplished. Really dig into the brain work, to the grind work that you have to do. Because once you can start to get rid of some of those demons that you got going on in your head, or some of the behaviors that you have going on, or some of the feelings that you have about yourself, once you can get in front of those things, what better place could you be to be able to attack the goals that you wanted to be able to achieve? And then you can go right down to box 7, where it talks about your dreams and your aspirations and the goals you want to accomplish as you're working through all those other things, the way you feel about yourself, the way you handle yourself, what kind of values and traits do you bring to the table? Do you want more of those being brought up? Should I work on more of those things? All those things are working in conjunction with the finality of the fact that in box number 7, you have dreams you want to accomplish. And if you want to accomplish those dreams, you're more apt to accomplishing those if you're right and you're tight in the brain to be able to get yourself to where you need to go. It's the only way you can be successful. Because if you feel like crap and you feel like you're down in the dumps and you're not feeling up to par, and you want to try to achieve those goals and aspirations and dreams and big grandiose things you want to be able to accomplish, how often do you think you're actually going to accomplish it if you're feeling down about yourself? Probably not that often, right? Your success rate's probably going to be way down towards single percentages, and you're probably not going to succeed the way you want to based on the fact that you are down in the dumps and you feel bad about yourself and you're just belittling yourself and starting to be your own worst critic and then also your own worst obstacle that you have to get over. So work on this, guys. Check it out. And if you want to send one to me, if you want to take a PDF of it, and you want somebody to take a look at it just for the heck of it, you could send it to me, okay? PDF it and send it to me at liquidshano1973@gmail.com. I'd love to see some of your work. Love to see some of the reflections that you guys have, because I know it was super, super impactful for us to do it as a team. Why not have an accountability buddy? I could be your accountability buddy right here on the podcast. And we can talk about stuff and we can email back and forth and we can just bring something to the table. And if you want me to just put a second set of eyes on it to say, hey, this is something you should really look at because maybe it's something you could really work on, those kind of things, I'm here for that. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I appreciate all of you being a little flexible with me last week so I didn't have to put out the podcast on the normal times that I normally do. And of course, lastly, I would be doing a disservice or injustice if I didn't talk to you guys about the Patreon that we're doing. Oh, two things. One thing's the Patreon account that I'm starting here with the podcast, where if you want to become a patron and want to be able to donate to the podcast and be able to help me out in being able to push this thing forward, you can go to www.patreon.com/liquidcoffeetalk, and you can get right in there to be able to donate anything you can to it. And you can also win some swag, and you get some exclusive content like videos and podcasts, special podcasts that I do just for you guys. So you can check that out there. And secondly, May 4th, 2019, if you're around the area of Scottsdale, Arizona, we're coming in to take over the town. We're going to be at the Valley Ho Hotel. We're going to be out there partying. We got some great, amazing sponsors like Kibosh Crusts. We got Devotion Nutrition, Dannon Yogurt. We got Western Bagel. We got all kinds of great sponsors coming into play. We've even got giveaways for air fryers for folks when we're there. We got all kinds of great stuff going to be going on. It's going to be a party from 7 to 12. You come out, we'll eat some food, we'll do some awards, we'll do some giveaways, we'll do some dining, we'll do some drinks on the rooftop, and then we'll go out dancing and take the night away into the sunset to be able to just have a great time together and just enjoy each other's company. So if you haven't gotten your tickets yet, do it, okay? I'll put the link right into the podcast here, and then you can go ahead and click on that link to be able to get your tickets, especially if you're around the area. What better way to go have a date night where you guys can just get out on May 4th to be able to come out with us, to hang out with us and party with us, okay? So thank you so much for the support, guys. Have a great week, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you so much for listening to Coffee Talk with Liquidshano 1973 podcast. You can also find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and other social media platforms at Liquidshano 1973. And if you could do us a favor, pop on over to iTunes and show us some love and leave some feedback there for us. Talk later.